So kind of interesting how the world goes around. My daughter, Isabella, 4th grade, came home with this homework tonight. And it's like, wait a second. This is kind of some of the stuff they were working in class a little bit. So I just kind of wanted to, I don't want to say quickly, but briefly kind of show you some of these things. Because examples like these are not what our textbook shows. She struggled, I'm going to be honest, with some of this. And she even said, she's like, I know what it means, but at the same time, I just can't think of what it's asking me. So something to keep in mind. And then just kind of comparing where she would have to like, look, is this more or less than a half? And her teacher doesn't use number lines, just kind of like FYI. We kind of talked about this, how we hadn't really seen a whole lot of expression. But here is this one where she doesn't have to draw the number line like you guys did or will do in your activities. But it talks about how like which of these fractions is possibly this one. So it's asking for an equivalent fraction, and they use the technical vocabulary right there. So just kind of, again, going back to that vocabulary, explaining, discussing with them. She multiplies the fractions across, which I know we talked about this before. She doesn't really know how or why. That's just what her teacher told her to do. And then when we talk about here the alligator symbols, she uses them as well. And she was really puzzled by this problem at first, but she said that her teacher explained it to them. And I thought that that was kind of like tricky, how it was presented to them. Like I thought for a 4th grader, that's just kind of a little too much. And the whole idea is that the pizzas were different size to begin with, but they both had the same fraction. So again, it's kind of using equivalent fractions, but visually rather than numerically. So kind of like I thought here, we use the numbers, here's just visually. So it was kind of like the universe just kind of coming full circle, showing us, or showing me kind of like what I'm teaching, what she's learning, and how it kind of all comes together in action. So if you ever have a chance to get your hands on a textbook, an elementary textbook, she really likes this collection. They use the, they are in Fort Army. They use the Envision Math. Just kind of something to, I don't know, consider. I remember at my school where I got my bachelor's at UD, they would have samples of textbooks in the library under the education section or section for teachers. So something to kind of look into it. So please consider that.